I didn't know how I got here, but we were here, sitting outside of the dorm hall at 2 a.m., hoping I don't wake anyone as I sit there and cry to myself. I didn't especially know what especially I was crying about, though. Maybe it was the built up stress, anxiety, depression, the panic I had over the smallest of things. That argument I had with another kid back in grade school that I should have won but didn't. I could have been anything, but I didn't know what. All I knew was that it was tearing me apart from the inside, and therefore I had to step outside. It was cold, but not so much that I needed a jacket. It was just a straight up chill in the air as it hit against my skin, sending a shiver down my spine as I sat there, my legs closed to my chest, looking out towards the rather boring and darkening scenery. I tried to focus on it, trying to steer my mind clear of thoughts, but nothing seemed to work as my tears just kept on falling down. They ran down my cheeks, my eyes staring from their overload as the tears then dropped off my chin right onto the ground. It should have been relaxing to me, as it was quite a normal, calm scene, but my thoughts seemed overwised. Just as I was so engulfed in the moment of crying, I couldn't help but hear the sound of the door opening. An angry sound sigh left from someone behind me before I heard matching voice to go with it. "Hey, dumbass, what the hell are you doing out here?" The voice sounded angry, yet quiet, which was weird as I knew who the person was. Quickly wiping away my tears that tainted my skin, my eyes still burning, I turned around and faced Bakugou. It was hard to see as I could barely see him through the dark, but I could recognize his messy, spiky blonde hair and his tired, angry eyes. It made me feel a bit better to see him out here, but it worried me that he just came down here to yell at me. But I knew that wasn't the case. He was my boyfriend. Why would he yell at me for crying? "Sorry, I couldn't sleep and needed some fresh air," I responded, and instantly could hear him. "That's a dumb lie, and you know it," he growled as I heard footsteps approach me. Just then, I felt him drop next to me, an arm sliding around me as it pulled me closer to him. "So, tell me the reason why the hell you're out here so damn late." I let out a sigh, my eyes darting to the ground as tears began to fall again. I could feel his grip around me tightened a little as he pulled me closer to him. I leaned over into his shoulder, crying right onto it, not even caring that it was a bit out of character for him to even hold me by him, not let alone not yell at me let not yell at me to cry. I was a bit shocked, yes, but it was fine for now. It felt nice as I could just cry into his shoulder for a bit, and him just let me do it. As he held me, I could feel him lean his head down a bit, resting it slightly on my head. He stiffed in place a little before getting comfortable and holding me in place as I just relaxed into his arms. It was quite quiet outside, besides the small muffled crying that echoed a little across the school. "Hey," I heard Bakugou whisper out close to my ear. "Listen, dumbass, I know I'm not the best at this whole stupid comforting thing, but..." Pulling away a bit from him, I glanced up, seeing his calm expression. It was unusual for him to go so soft, and I didn't have an explanation as to how, but here he was, comforting me. It was abnormal for him to comfort me, but It was rare for him to go soft like this. Then again, I don't think I've ever cried in front of him before. Whatever you're going through, yeah, it may suck ass, and it may be a pain in the ass too. Handle, but damn, I know you're a strong person who can get through it and make it forward, even if it's hard to and push against you. You're a fucking dumbass. You got it. You're going to be okay in the end, even if it stumbles and falls a bit. You'll make it. And if you ever need help, you have me. Got it? So don't cry. It makes me feel awkward. I laughed a little at his poorly yet helpful words, punching his chest lightly as I shook my head. I wiped the strained tears, trying to get the tears from falling as I smiled a little to him. Looking up into his crimson eyes, I could see his serious, softened face staring down at me. So it's fine if Deku cries, but when I cry, you get awkward. You laughed / choked out as I was still a bit stuffed from my crying. I could see him get a bit ticked with that comment, but he seemed to blush it away as he pulled me around and onto his chest, holding me close. "Shut up, dumbass," he mumbled out as he pulled his head down into mine. I just smiled and hugged him as I turned my head sideways a bit so I could hear better. "Is that your only nickname for me?" I rebutted, and I could hear him groan a bit into my hair as he leaned back just a little so he could talk. "Fine, how about my dumbass who decides to stay up until 3 a.m. in the morning?" I rolled my eyes and nodded, in my mood feeling a lot better already with Bakugou's warm and words right with me. I could feel him lay his head back down on my head again. This time it was laying sideways so he could speak if he wanted to. Says the one who goes to bed at 8 p.m. I could feel him stir a bit, hugging me closer, and let out a growl. "Can we just go back inside already?" "But I like comforting hugs with my Kat-chan." I smirked and felt him starting to fall back, his arms still tight around me. "I told you not to call me that witch bitch." I lied my head back, looking up to Bakugou as he lied there on the ground. Now me on top of him, my back was on his stomach, as we were sideways to the ground. "Considering you just called me your girlfriend a bitch, I think I deserve to call you Kat-chan." I could hear him groan once more, probably frustrated that he was to keep his voice down. "Can't you just shut up and cry again in my arms?" "Only for cuddling." I smiled and leaned up, kissing the bottom of his jawline as he was a bit taller than me. He turned to look down, leaning down to kiss me almost instantly after my little kiss to him. Leaning up to follow him, I felt our lips collapse onto one another, and it was like a firework exploded all over again. My body filled with happiness and warmth as I melted into the kiss, feeling him pulling me more into his body. We stayed like this for a few more seconds before lovingly pulling away from each other, Bakugou holding a smug smile on his face as he pulled away. He looked down at me, his tired crimson eyes opening just enough to see my face that was next to him. "I can sneak you into my room, just don't tell Aizawa," he responded, and I giggled, standing up with him before shaking my head, earning a puzzled look from him. "Sorry, but you called me a bitch," I answered and began to walk back into the building, Bakugou trailing right behind. "My dumbass, get your ass back here." I could hear him holler out despite the number of people sleeping. And that was the end of the night. We ended up secretly cuddling in Bakugou's dorm room for the night, having nobody catch us until that morning, which didn't end well.